Heavenzs Upholstery. Pamela 11. Pamela Dominguez Ojeda, Howe, with a heart above the H. That's my real name. And now I call myself Pamela 11 because it's easier just to do one and then another one together. And then 2 lines and I'm done. Pamela 11. One for me and one for God. And this is my slipper chair, my Hispanic American French slipper chair. It was my grandmother's, possibly her mother's, my great-grandmother's, who passed when she was 5. And I grew up in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And when I was small, I would stay at my grandmother's house, and she would sit in this chair, and I would play and hang out and sit on the couch and fall asleep on the couch and watch TV, and she'd be in this chair watching me, and we'd talk and hours and hours, way into the morning, me and my grandma. One day, coming back from college, I think, I noticed there was no slipper chair. And I never said one word. My grandmother is 90 now, 89, and she's still here. And we bless every moment that she's still here. And I never said one thing. But I missed the slipper chair. And when I bought a sewing machine, decided to do upholstery, I went to Thrift Town in the Mission in San Francisco. It is the Hispanic area of the city, and it's a thrift store. And when I walked in just to look for some things and learn furniture and pick some things out, I found 2 slipper chairs, exactly like the one she had when I was young. And I knew it was a blessing from God, and that I was going to be an upholsterer, or at least reupholster these 2 chairs. My first chair, I named Uvia Kai from my first trip to Mexico. My grandfather's from Mexico, my grandmother's from the United States and Texas, and her parents were from Texas, I believe. And I didn't know it was Cancun. I thought it was vacation. I didn't even know it was Mexico. I totally missed it until the end. But my first trip to Mexico was Cancun, and I was with my brother and his fiancée, now his wife, Randy and Kara Howe, and we had a rainy, beautiful time. The sun came out sometimes, but other times it was rainy. Uvia Kai means raining. And I picked that song because of my first trip to Mexico and because I didn't speak Spanish. I later learned Spanish in Spain, and I speak Spanish. My grandmother, she's always correcting me, and it's not very good. Pero yo hablar español, y hablé español de Madrid, en España. Porque cuando en Europa, yo pensé, I think it's a good idea to learn Spanish. And I stayed there for a year and learned Spanish. Yo hablo español? Muy bien. Pretty good. I have to be there, and my present tense is pretty good, but I still need to learn. So maybe I'll take a trip to Mexico and learn more of the past tense and the future tense and speak with my grandmother, who's always correcting me. Anyway, I love my design as a slipper chair. And more of the story when you watch The Upholsterer that I decided to do. When I saw the upholsterers document their work, documenting mine, I decided I would make the show The Upholsterer to share making my slipper chair, since they document pretty well anyway. I put in my slipper chair the story of my grandmother and some things. And on the back, when I did the outside back, before I put on the cover, I put on the muslin, Heavenzs Upholstery, and just some things. I put, for example, when it was reupholstered 2010. Then I put about the frame, I put everything, walnut, I put all overhauled, I put springs, webbing, cotton, same horsehair, fabric new, there's me. And I put to the upholsterer with love. You know, I really did that because I decided, if you can see that better. So I'll do that. I decided to do that because there wasn't, any information on this chair. It was overhauled, and new upholstery was put on it several times, and it was a mess. I had to do everything on it, and I didn't know what had been done last, what existed as far as when and where. You know, kind of like when you get your car done, I'll do that in a second. When it came to your car done, it's nice to know when the last service was, okay? See, I did this leg. And I serviced this chair. New webbing. I did everything new. It needed it. You know, it didn't make sense. And new springs, everything. I used the reality of the springs and everything in it, you know, and started all over. You know, wouldn't that be nice if we all had a service book that said when they did it, how they did it, if they did it? Because when you start upholstering, you're going to know. You want to know what happened. What is the history of this chair? Please tell me anything about the chair. Because it's really nice to know when those upholstered fabrics, I mean, they're left in the chair, were put there. Who put them there? What did they put in there? You should see how they rigged this chair instead of doing an 8-way spring job. What were they doing? I don't even know. But I decided to respect another upholsterer 5 years down the line, 100 years down the line, and share my work. For them, it's really nice. Please do the same for me. I'll really appreciate it. I don't want to sound bad. It's just polite. And when I do my upholstery, I do it with my dog Gracie, who I had for 7 years and passed away this year. So I had a year of missing her, and that's what happened. And I wanted to show you here the story of my grandmother. I just wrote it one day and decided to take the handwritten version and I just put it in the chair with a piece of tape. That's me and my grandmother. Years later, I think I'm 36 there, my grandmother, I just gave her some scarves. She says we're a little French. Minneapolis is a little French. So, okay, we're a little French. I think I'm Hispanic, which means Indian in Spanish, and I'm Norwegian in English, and I guess for my grandmother, I am a little French. Her and her mother share something. Her mother died when she was 5, and she's a master of the seamstress, and so is the dresses and all these wonderful things. I think unbelievable. She's been sewing her whole life, and she sews things and has realities really from France. I mean, you know, when your mother passes, when you're that young, she has so many memories of her mother and the things she loved and cared about. And in the United States, and that was in Texas, her mother was really into fashion and Vogue and things like that of France. And it's amazing. And it's interesting how she had the slipper chair, because it is done in a red of Hispanic America. And so they really were into, I noticed, the styles and fashions that they adapted in the United States for themselves, of their time and, you know, of their class in the United States, with a lot of influence from France. And that's what I found out from my history. There's my dog, English Mastiff. It's an American English Mastiff. I really like to state America. I mean, we're American, okay? And my father's last name is Howe. He's Norwegian and English, okay? But American. Gracie, I adopted from Sacramento, California. She was one of 12, 6 passed, and her mother was ill. And we got her and we loved her for 7 years. And she was amazing. But she's American. American in Sacramento, okay? California. She's American English Mastiff, okay? My grandmother is from Texas. American. Not Mexican. My grandfather is from Mexico. Leon. Mexican. American. Mexican. American. I tell people sometimes when they ask, what are you? I say, because they're asking about my color. I say, Mexican. Just because he's the only one in our family who is not American. I'm American. My father's American. My mother's American. But he stayed Mexican most of his life. And before he died, he decided to become a citizen, because his son was a Vietnam veteran and asked him to. So he died an American, but was always very loyal and loved his country, Mexico. My grandmother from Texas, her parents, and she's very proud to be American. And we don't have problems, my family. See? And I'm granddaughter, Pamela 11. And I changed my name because when I got married to a man in Spain, they don't change their names. I thought it would be nice just to write 2 lines. 11. You know, one better than 10. Anyway, changed it, and now it's Pamela 11. Okay? One for me and one for God. Just one for everyone. And anyway, Heavenzs Upholstery. I started this year, and I started remembering my grandmother as she's getting older, and I know soon she'll be in heaven. Okay? And meeting her mother. And I designed a slipper chair for her. Okay? And for remembering. Okay? And I hope she likes it. And I hope you like it. Heavenzs Upholstery is new, and I'm the upholsterer. Pamela 11. Thanks. And the mess of my house. When you end your chair, designing your chair, this is what it looks like. It is really a disaster. And that's great, because then we can clean it all up and start again with a new piece of furniture and a new story. Okay, until next time. And next time we'll see our finished slipper chair.